Vanakkam. Hi, this is Naveen again, your humble uh, moviegoer. So இப்போ வந்து 5:15 நான் வந்து ஒரு மணிக்கு ஷோ பார்த்தேன் கூலி and came out theatre at 4. So I wanted to record this while it's still fresh in memory, and of course I have to say I have some notes as well. So நிறையா ரிவ்யூ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவங்களாம் வந்து எல்லாம் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிட்டு அப்புறம் பின்னால் வந்து they will like kind of give a rating and all that. So let me just do a reverse, you know, a bit like Christopher Nolan and start at the very end. The movie, if I could really summarize the movie, is the word that really popped in my mind was it's so disjointed. The movie is just disjointed. That's the only word that came out in my mind. Rating பார்த்தீங்கன்னா I would say average movie. I wanted to give like, in my mind I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. And actually my rating was 5, which is like really average. And the reason I gave 6.5 was I thought there was a few small performances here and there, and then you get 0.5. I'll explain it a little bit. Now, நீங்கள் வந்து படம் நான் பார்க்கலன்னா please stop here. I will pause for a few seconds because there's going to be massive spoilers. So yeah, I would really recommend you not to continue watching this video if you have not watched the movie. So I'm going to do a 2-second countdown. 1, 2. Okay, so here we go. Again, spoiler alert. Some good things. Let's start with the good things first, right? I thought the stand-up performance for me in the entire movie was Soubin. I have to admit, I've only recently started looking at his other movies. Now and I have a few friends who are Malayalis, and you know, I've been slowly becoming fans of Malayalam movies over the years. You know, rendu moonu here and there and all that, but I think in the last 1 year or so I've been ramping up my Malayalam movies, and what I'm really impressed is the storytelling. And second is the performance. They're so close, the storytelling and performance of the movies I've watched. So when it comes to Soubin, there's a few, some of the titles I've forgotten, but of course Kishkendi Nights, I think that was his first performance, and what a breakout performance. Manjimel Boys, of course. There was another one I can't remember, but you know, I'm slowly becoming his fan. I think acting wise, ரொம்ப natural. Reminds me of Vijay Sethupathi. I feel Vijay Sethupathi is a very natural actor, and I think Soubin, you know, I was very impressed, and I was surprised the amount of percentage of the movie he had. I want to say like quite a big percentage of the movie he was there, and yeah, I was impressed by his performance, and I think that earned 0.5 out of my 5 plus rating. Second, and I don't know why, for me, Upendra's scenes was really good. He really came out, the swagger was there. I really liked, I apologize to his fans. நான் வந்து அவரை பற்றி ரொம்ப தெரியாது. I've not seen any of his movies, I'll be really honest, but அவரோட சீக்வன்ஸை வந்து I mean, I thought it was very nice, that swagger, that mass he had. I feel like some parts he kind of like overshadowed Rajini. There's some sequences together with them, and yeah, I was pretty impressed with his action. You know, I don't know, the weight he brought, his you know, swagger. Again, I say the same word, swagger again. I was really impressed with that. Nagarjuna, overall good acting. Some parts was a little bit I felt it's a little bit weak, but again, I would say performance wise, overall really good. I thought he embodied the character well. Again, we'll go to the plot and storyline. You know, because you're only allowed to work. You know, you're given the canvas and you're supposed to work and then flesh out So I thought what was given to him, he did really well. Shruti acted really well, uh, but from my point of view, because she's so glamorous, I couldn't help by looking at her very nicely shaped eyebrows, even though it was like a sad scene or something. But she acted well. I have to say she acted well. I just thought that maybe she was a bit too glamorous for the role. But again, an opportunity to be in a Rajini movie. Who can say no, right? So she acted well. Given the scope, given the subject, she really acted well. So yeah, that was really good. Um, Sathyaraj for me came, did what he's supposed to do, and left. So within the scope, nice, good, simple. Maybe could have fleshed out a little bit. Again, I will go back to the story and why I feel these characters, they were missing a few things, but he came, he did what he's supposed to do, and he left. So yeah, I again, hats off to Sathyaraj. I think these people really acted well. Um, the bad, uh, Aamir is, I mean, Rangde Basanti to me, it's like one of the greatest movies I ever saw. I've been watching Hindi films compared to Malayalam movies. I've been watching a little bit more Hindi films over the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years or so. And yeah, I mean, apart from Kamal and Amitabh Ji, and I can't think of anyone else that has that tools and skill sets to act. Aamir is probably one of the greatest actors in our generation right now. And naming the other two as well. Three Idiots, yeah. So I just felt it was a waste. Again, given the scope, given the canvas he was given, he performed to what he was expected. But I just felt it was waste. It was just wasted. I mean, for an actor like him, what he could have brought, what he could have done. Yeah, I just felt sad, to be honest. And I'm sure he felt good. He felt great that he could be part of this movie, and I'm sure he has fond memories and all that. But I just felt, as a fan of him, of really good storytelling, they could have given him a little bit more. Well, maybe much more. um, Actually, his scene, the one that really popped in my mind, were the dogs. To be really honest with you, the sequences of the dogs yeah, I thought that was really cool. It kind of reminded me of John Wick, the dog sequences, but yeah, that was a bit of a shame. Okay, now let's get into the crux of it, right? ஜெயிலரோட ஆடியோ லான்ச் வந்து தலைவர் சொன்னார். Okay, first of all, I have to preempt and say I am a Rajini fan, நான் தலைவர் fan தான். So this is not a criticism of him. This is just my observation and what I felt after watching the movie. So this is my, and I'm a nobody. I'm not an industry. I'm nothing. I'm just a simple, humble fan. That's it. All of that. And I've always been the kind of person, like, if something good, I'll tell you it's good. If something is bad, I'll tell you it's bad. Right? So that's straightforward. And again, I'm nobody. So. ஜெயிலர் லான்ச் வந்து அவர் சொல்கிறாரு, ரஜினி சார் சொன்னார், டைரக்டர் ஃபெயில் ஆக மாட்டாங்க, சப்ஜெக்ட் ஃபெயில் ஆக சான்ஸ் இருக்குது. The subject failed, right? You had a very nice concept of the harbor, the coolies working there. I feel like you could have done a really different kind of story. But what you tried to do was, again, this is my personal opinion, and free feel to disagree. I feel like what you had a few sequences or ideas in your mind, and in the try panning you tried to fit all those ideas or sequences, and it just try to fit a square in a round peg, saying irukku mandata, adu tinikka pathinga. But varla, and the form varla, you tried very hard to fit it. You had இந்த ஒரு sequence நல்லா இருக்கு, ஐடியல் ஓடி இருக்கு, and you tried to fit it in a storyline. It just didn't work. It just I'm sorry to say that, it just You tried so hard to fit it just didn't work. The Monica song, so much of hype, right? It was the backstory didn't make sense, and I have to. There's so much been said about the editor, and for that sequence, I was perplexed. Again, spoiler alert. Um, he's dancing. He goes downstairs to the deck, hammers a nail, in a guy's hand, and goes up and dance again. And without it, the way you edited that scene, my God, dude, what the hell were you thinking? It just was it time constrained? I mean, it, that I was sitting there going like, wait, oh my God, I just couldn't again, I'm perplexed. I cannot find the words. Yeah, so for all the good things the editor has done previously, I have to knock you on your head for that, really. Maybe overall, everyone will clap and say, oh, amazing editing job, but yeah, I gotta knock you on your head on that, man, because it's not about perfection, right? It's about execution, and then when you miss one, it's gonna stand out, and it stood out for me, and yeah, so knock on your head for that. Um, Sathyaraj, okay, supposedly a genius who's electrical, mechanical engineering. Again, no background there. Didn't Is he a MIT graduate, IIT graduate? What is he doing? If he's such a smart guy, why is he not? It's yeah, didn't make sense. And why would you build that thing? Of all the things you can build, I mean, sustainability is a huge thing. If you can turn air into water, why would you why would you do a mobile cremation? And one of the expression given was like, oh, it's for animals. I'm like, really? That's the okay, if you follow that logic, why would these guys want that device? Like, how many people are you killing on a daily basis? And why are people not investigating? Like, if there are 20 people being killed every day and 20 families go to the police station and say, hey, my husband, my brother is missing. What? It just did not make sense. And you know what's the best part? They're in a harbor. It's a freaking ocean. You could drive a boat to the middle of nowhere and dump the body and put some weights in it. Nobody will find it. Have you seen Dexter? Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of a plot hole in Dexter because the bodies ended up being found. But you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like, okay, so you built that device that didn't make sense. Why you built it in the first place? With your background. And then why did they have a requirement for that? Oh man, I'm just laughing right now. Seriously, I don't know what else to do. I'm just laughing right now. And Aamir scene, right? I mean, that was a bit. I got confused. So, the guy that Deva killed is Simon's father. Okay, so I understand why Nagarjuna's character Simon wants to take revenge. Or he's pissed off with Deva. Where does Aamir come into this? So Aamir, the father is there in the wheelchair. So how is Simon's father related to Aamir? Is it the uncle? Again, maybe I'm stupid, but the fact that I missed that. And then if you're such a ruthless guy, you should be just chopping off his head. Why stop there? And then why asking him to join? It does not make sense. It does not make sense. Now, let me put this as a disclaimer. There are a lot of movies out there that don't make sense. People flying, people going to space. Get it, Avengers. But a movie that does not make sense and a story that makes sense are, to me, two separate things. You can have a movie that is unbelievable, a guy flying, Iron Man, whatever it is, right? But when you have a storyline arc, it fits. It kind of like, there's a plausibility to it. It's like, dun, 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 1, 2, 3, like, okay. If I had, if I was Elon Musk and I'm able to build a suit of iron, okay. Unimaginable, but the story, you know what I'm trying to say, right? So that's why I'm coming here. The story didn't make sense, and the sequence of trying to make logic out of that story that didn't make sense didn't make sense. If you get what I'm trying to say. Oh my God, yeah, and I feel like again, Vikram, man, dude, you had again, one of the most gifted actors of our generation. And the story made sense. And to me, the breakout person in that movie was Fahad Fazil. I thought he was amazing in the entire movie. Put Kamal aside, But, and when you had Surya's entry as Rolex, it just gelled. It just, because Vijay Silvi say, hey, there's this guy, he's going to kill my family. And, when he brought him in, and that ruthlessness, no holds barred, I was like, wow, I was blown away by Surya's entry. And it felt like you wanted to do that. And I'm referring to Lokesh. It felt like you wanted to bring that element in here, and you try to stuff it in with an amazing actor called Aamir Khan, and it just didn't work. It did not work. Why the heck did he shoot all the guys there? Dude, oh my God. You tried too hard, man. You just tried way too hard. And I'm trying to think logically, and maybe it's because you had that weight of Rajini on your shoulders, and you had so many people telling you, or Rasiga Mantram. I have no idea, man. Sun Picture, I have no idea. I have no idea why. But disjointed, one. Wasted, two. I think these are the two words. You could have done. You could have. I mean, dude, with Rajini, you could have. Oh my God. I mean, the man is 70 plus, and touch wood. I hope he lives a long time, but nobody lives amazing man, yes. But the number of movies he's going to do is going to dwindle down, and you had an opportunity in your catalog, and yeah, dude, yeah, so much of hype. I've seen your interviews. I'm sorry, man, you failed. And again, take it as constructive criticism, because like Rajini has said previously, like you're a horse. You fall, you get up. So I wish you the best. You've got Kaidi 2, and I think you're doing maybe a Rolex standalone movie, and you've got a project with Aamir Khan. So I wish you all the best, man. And please, for heaven's sake, just you've been doing some really good movies. Stick to that. Focus on the story and make sure you flesh it out nicely, and don't get starstruck. I don't know what to say. Don't get starstruck just because it's Rajini, because it's Aamir Khan. I have to like force things. Yeah, just have a good story, man. Rajini Sare சொல்லிருக்காரு, director fail ஆக மாட்டாங்க, story தான் fail ஆகணும். But in this sequence, bro, it's your story, so you failed. I'm not discouraging you. Take it as a constructive criticism. Get back on the horse again, and become the greatest director in Tamil movie or in Indian cinema. You're still young. Go ahead, man. But yeah, with this one, I'm sorry to say you faltered. You really faltered. And this is where I have to kind of track back and say, Jailer, for me, the way, whether you want to say Nelson or his, the people around here, I don't know how he came up with the idea of not making use of Rajini at the age. And the thing about Nelson is sometimes it comes across, if you've seen Wes Anderson movies, right, it comes across as a bit made up. And if you look at Nelson's movies, he always has this level where it's always kind of flat. If you look at Doctor, if you look at Kolamau Kovila, and then of course Jailer, right, he does it, the lead doesn't, he kind of maintains that flatness. So I think for a person like Rajini to maintain that flatness was very interesting to see, and the fact that action sequences were done behind the scene, and then it's implied that he's whacked 10 people and then he comes out like dust himself off. I thought that was brilliant. He made use of Rajini, I thought, in this current age or stage that he's in very well. And I've always been a fan of intellect, and that's why Nolan, to me, I mean, right now, Hitchcock, Nolan, yeah, don't even get me started on Nolan. But I would love for directors to use the intellect part of Rajinikanth, and which I thought Nelson tried and succeeded to some level, where the practice sequence, the fake, not kidnapping, the fake stealing of the crown and all that kind of stuff. I it, that showed the intellectual part of Rajini, which I thought was lacking. So Jailer to me made use of what or who Rajini is at this current stage, and I thought that was brilliant. But that was lacking here. You had, what was that, 19 people around him, and he went around alone. Like, dude, what the hell? So even in Basha, okay, earlier, right, he had a crew, and I like that. And in Jailer, he had a crew. He had the snipers that was always backing him, and the story made use of that. And and they were there. And I thought that was brilliant. But here, you had 19 people, and again, to me, Upendra was the breakout there, and they didn't make use of it. And again, action sequences. I mean, dude, I know you tried. You wanted that mass moments, and you want that audience to go. But I'm telling you, man, I watched with just now. It's the first day, right? I watched with Rajini fans. There was so far few moments where everyone were like, "Whoa, man!" It was flat. You were forcing it. That's what I felt. You were really trying to force it, and it just didn't work. Now I'm just looking. To be honest with you, I had so much of thoughts. I actually put it on the notes. I'm looking at my notes around while I'm recording this. Okay, there was one point. There was a shot that you tried to do, the 360 rotation in the lab. Cool idea. Execution not so much, because for me, when I was watching it, what happened was when you're moving the camera, all the people, everybody became blur. It was not a nice flowing shot. You were rotating, and everything was like blur, 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 blur. Yeah, so that's my feedback to you. I don't know whether you watch post-production or maybe, maybe the screen, I don't know, man. Maybe the screen was too big, you couldn't handle resolution. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm telling you what I saw and what I felt, it was blurry. Like, because you're moving, right? It wasn't smooth, it wasn't blurry. It was blurry. What else? Oh, yeah, the flashback. Okay, ever since, was it The Irishman? Yeah. De-aging movie making has come into a forefront. Interesting, de-aging, yeah. How was it used here? It looked a little bit cartoonish in some scenes. Okay, Rajini young, cool. But why was his voice a bit too high pitched? Again, could it be the theater? Did you guys, it? And again, my honest opinion, it sounds like a bit like a chipmunk. When I first heard him talk, when you did that flashback scene when he was younger, the frequency or the tone was so high. I was like, why does he sound like Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks? I really had that thought that crossed my mind. So that's again my honest feedback to you. The voice, it just seemed a bit off. Well, not just a little bit. It really felt off. Okay. What else? Oh yeah, there was a rumor running around that Siva Karthikeyan might be the younger version of Rajini. I wish it was true. When I was watching that before you reveal it was him, I was thinking to myself, let it be Siva Karthikeyan, let it be Siva Karthikeyan. But it wasn't. So yeah, again, spoiler alert. So yeah, don't scold me. And two things finally. I just look at my note. Two things. Rajini sir. You are, to me, a great man, really. Every time I listen to interviews or every time I see something, an audio launch, and when you tell stories about your young life, I know you went through a lot. The last one in the COOLIE, audio launch you talked about when you were COOLIE, and to me is like, when I was watching that the grit, the drive of a man to be in that position, Murta Tuki, and then to be where you are right now, with legions of loving fans, really loving fans. We all love you. We absolutely love you. Movie or not, we think of you as a great man. And I am 0.1% of who you are, really. I have a lot of bad habits. I wish I was more like you, and I try. Sometimes when I get angry, when I get, I think back to some of the things you said, like, in audio launch சொன்னீங்க, like, ரெண்டு voice வரும்ட்டு. I really sat and thought about that, and it's very true. கடவுள் voice வரும், உங்களோட voice வரும்ட்டு. It's very true, and I'm sorry to disappoint you. Most of the time I listen to my voice, which kind of like, yeah, anyway. So yeah, sir, நீங்க வந்து, and I wish you nothing but the best, and I wish you to be healthy and enjoy your time um, with your family and your grandkids and your friends. And it was so nice to see your um, sorry sir, I don't know how to Bahadur, right, your friend, the guy who got you to Chennai. And yeah, it was so nice to see him, because I've never seen him before. I'm sure there are some videos of him, but I've never seen him before, and it was so nice to see him at the audio launch with the, was he a yellowish kind of hair? Oh, that's so cute, man. When you hold his hand, it's like, wow, man, that was amazing. I mean, friends to me, because I'm an orphan, so to me, being an orphan, having friends is the world to me. And today, if something happens, the only person that the hospital can call are my friends, because they are my emergency contact. So I really, truly know the value and the love of friends, right? So yeah. But sir, please, நீங்கள் வந்து பாலச்சந்தர் கூட பாலச்சந்தர் சார் கூட அந்த இன்டர்வியூ அந்த டைரக்டர்ஸ் ஈவெண்ட்டில் சொன்னீங்க, கமர்ஷியல், ஒன்லி கமர்ஷியல், பிகாஸ் அவரு வந்து கேட்டால் சினிக்கம் மாதிரி ஒரு படம் செய்யுங்கன்ட்டு. நீங்கள் வந்து இல்லை, நான் கமர்ஷியல் தான் செய்வேன். எனக்கு புரியுது. நீங்கள் வந்து உங்கள் ரூட்டில் போயிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. பர்ஃபெக்ட் சார், நீங்கள் உங்கள் ரூட்டில் போங்க. ஆனால் சார் வேணாம் சார், இட்ஸ் லைக் I don't know whether the director வந்து அவ்வளோ எக்ஸைட்டடாக வந்து, ஆஹா நான் ரஜினி சார் கூட ஒரு படம் செய்கிறேன், 10 பேர் போடலாம், 20 பேர் போடலாம், 30 பேர் போடலாம், எல்லாம் அடிக்கட்டும், அது நேச்சுரலாக வர மாட்டேங்குது சார். ப்ளீஸ் சார், தப்பாக நினச்சிக்காதீங்க, ஒரு ஹம்பிள் ஃபேன் வந்து சொல்கிறேன். அகெயின் உங்களோட அந்த இன்டலெக்ட் வந்து யூஸ் பண்ணி எப்படி நீங்கள் அந்த சிச்சுவேஷனை வந்து, I want to see that, where you use your intellect and you chess move மாதிரி நீங்கள். That's why Jailer, I was quite taken, எனக்கு நல்லா இருந்துச்சு. நீங்கள் வந்து எப்படி அந்த செஸ் பீஸை மூவ் பண்ணி எப்படி அந்த ட்ராப் பண்ணுறீங்க, you லாக் பண்ணுறீங்கன்னு சொல்லுவாங்களே. ஸோ யா, and yeah, I think you should. My humble opinion சார், அந்த சீக்வன்ஸ்லாம் வேணாம் சார். அந்த விநாயகாயம்லேருந்து லாஸ்ட் பார்ட்டில் வந்து, சாரி, விநாயகாயமா, விநாயகன் வந்து லாஸ்ட் சீனில் வந்து அந்த சண்டை போட்டு, ஓகே, that looked nice, அந்த சேர் ரோல் பண்ணிட்டு கிக், nice sequence from the top down, appreciate the sequence, how they did the top down view of the kick, nice. But when you fight 10-15 people and all that, அந்த நேச்சுரலாக வர மாட்டேங்குது சார். it's again, sorry sir, என்னோட humble opinion சொல்கிறேன், நல்லா சீக்வன்ஸ் நல்லா வர மாட்டேங்குது. வேணாம், விட்டுருங்க. Use your intellectualism, use the people around you, the 19 people, the 3 snipers, அந்த மாதிரி நல்லா இருக்கு. நீங்கள் எல்லாம் தலைவர் சொல்கிறாங்க. That is what you are. You are a leader, and a leader delegates. A leader, shows the way. I've seen movies. What was that movie with Karthi and the police officer, right? And nice movie, but that sequence where he in a squad goes alone, again, I don't understand. Like, you are a police squad, you have 5 or 6 people together with you, and he goes alone to confront the 10-15. Again, I don't know why. I really don't know why people come up with this kind of story. It doesn't make sense. If you show the guy being alone from the start to the end, it makes sense, right? Because he's alone and he's fighting everyone alone. Total makes sense. But நீங்கள் வந்து ஸ்டார்டிங்கில் வந்து இஸ் பார்ட் ஆஃப் அ ஸ்குவாட், இஸ் பார்ட் ஆஃப் அ ensemble, இஸ் பார்ட் ஆஃப் அ குரூப் ஸ்டோரி லைன் வச்சுட்டு, அப்புறம் திடீர்னு லாஸ்ட் பண்ண அவரே போய் சண்டை போட்டு அவரே, அப்புறம் எல்லாம் முடிச்சோன்னா அந்த 10 பேர் வர்றாங்க. என்னப்பா அது? அதுதான் ஓகே. Maybe I don't understand the economics of movies. Maybe I don't understand what sells. Okay, again, who am I? I'm just one humble fan. I'm telling you as it is. I'm telling you what's coming from my heart. I hope you take it the right way, constructive criticism. I understand. Rajini sare soliranga, it's a business, right? You have your distributors, exhibitors. I have no idea who exhibitors are, but எல்லாம் இருக்கு, and I understand the complex nature of movies being made, financing, being sold, blah 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 blah. I understand. And again, who am I, right? But I'm telling you, as a fan who's sitting there paying quite an expensive ticket, by the way, to watch a movie, and I want to be entertained. Now, maybe you can find 9 out of 10 people will watch this movie and say they were entertained. Maybe I'm the odd one out. So be it. Fine. I'm the odd one out. 9 out of 10 say, whoo, fine. I can't say anything, right? But let me be the one guy out, odd one out, and I tell you what I feel and what I think. Left ear, right ear, you don't have to listen to me again. Who am I, right? So, sir, வேணாம் சார் நீங்கள் வேணாம் ஓகே நான் கேட்குறேன் கெஞ்சி கேட்குறேன் வேணாம் சார் இன்டலெக்சுவல் அந்த மாதிரி I think it'll be amazing where you can I would love to see you kind of like that I don't want to say antagonist, but you're almost like a shade of a protagonist antagonist combined, and you're just kind of like moving the pieces, and you're like just sitting in the back of the chair and like laughing, like because you see because of how you have created that, I don't know, chess play. You're sitting back and laughing because you're like outsmarted the other. I want to see you like this, outsmarting the other people, not hitting 10-15 people. That I would love to see you in this kind of character. Again, my personal opinion. What was the last thing I wanted to say? Non-linear movie telling. You're a fan of Quentin Tarantino. I'm a fan of Quentin Tarantino, right? I remember getting hyped up after hearing a little bit about Reservoir Dogs, not even Pulp Fiction, right? Reservoir Dogs, Harvey Keitel. I was Mr. White, Mr. Pink, right? Lokesh, I don't need to tell you this. You're much more bigger movie fan than I am, I think, right? But yeah, you look at how the sequence, it doesn't matter whether it's linear or non-linear. The story is the story. It needs to make sense. That's why Christopher Nolan, Memento, was such a brain effort, but it made sense even though it went this way. Memento Mori, right? Again, I don't have to tell you this. And I actually went backwards. I'm such a huge fan of Nolan. I actually went backwards. And there's a movie before Memento called The Following. I think it's called The Following, right? It's in black and white, and he shot it with money from his friends. And I was even then you could see the emphasis that Nolan had on the storyline. And I had such huge, story, man. Story. Doesn't matter who's acting. Story. Focus on the story. Don't try to fit something that does not fit. Focus on the story, for heaven's sake. I beg you. Focus on the story. Again, not putting you down, man. Come back. Rise like a phoenix. Come back. Again, you got so many movies in the pipeline. You're one of the most celebrated director at this current moment. Everybody will fall on your feet to work with you, but you have a huge responsibility, man. Don't let go of that responsibility, right? I admire you. I really admire you. And in the interview, you said you want to be the first one to make a complete blood, gore, R-rated. Please, I'll be waiting for that, man, right? Do it. I don't know with who, but yeah, do it. Yeah, do what you want to do, but focus on the storyline. Even Kill Bill. Excellent. Focus on storyline. Yeah, man. That's it. I'm just looking at my notes. That's about it. Final note. This might be a bit too harsh for me to say, but save your money. If you're not a hardcore Rajini fan, yeah, watch it on streaming. Talking about COOLIE, just watch it on streaming. I don't know whether this is going to affect, who the hell am I? It's not going to affect your business, right? But yeah, I rather you save than harden. If you're a rich person, go ahead. I have no qualms about rich people. Rich people can waste their money. I am a middle to lower class person. Seriously, right? For me, $40, it's a lot of money. I have meals less than $10 a day. That's for my 4 meals. I'm a middle to low class, okay? Don't waste your money. Watch it on streaming. this movie is, even for hardcore Rajini fans, even they were like, so yeah, if you are a non-Rajini fan, don't bother watching this movie. Watch it on streaming. You can watch it once on streaming, that's it. Yeah, you're not gonna miss much. So um, if you guys are not happy with what I've said, the production team and everybody else, again, this is my honest opinion. Again, who's going to listen to me, right? So yeah, but I want to tell people who really can't afford, you know, who don't have that much money, I would rather them save their money and take out their kids for a meal or have a proper meal. Don't even bother watching this movie, right? Okay, that's it. I know Jailer 2 is shooting right now. I hope to God at least the story will be compact or has some logical sense. Humble apologies if anyone was a bit pissed off with this view. Again, I want to reiterate, I am a Rajini fan. I will always be a Rajini fan, but I'm also a fan of cinema and I'm also a fan of good movies, right? I am a Rajini fan, but I'm also a fan of good movies. And looking at how much it costs nowadays to actually go and watch a movie, yeah, everything else, cost of living has gone up everywhere, right? So it's a common, yeah. So thank you for the one or two viewers. I don't get many views on my, again, I don't advertise, so I don't get many views. So the one or two of you who's stuck so until now to watch me blab, thank you. I wish you all the best. I wish Rajini sir all the best. I wish Lokesh all the best. If anyone says anything bad about you, take it on your chin, come back up, like a horse. Rajini சொல்லிருக்காரு, Rajini sir சொல்லிருக்காரு, எந்திரிச்சு போங்க. Don't worry, never compromise, you're a good director, don't compromise, go. Make a story beautiful, compact, nice, then you go, I wish you all the best, man. And all the people who acted there, wow, well done. Soubin, my God, I'm becoming a huge fan of you. Upendra sir, I have no idea who you are. Everyone tells you're an amazing director. I'm going to start researching about you. I thought you really stole the screen when you appeared. Nice. Nagarjuna sir, oh my God. At this age, I'm sorry, I'm not sure how old you are. Look at me, so much of white hair. You look amazing, by the way. Everyone has commented. I hope you enjoyed making the movie, really. Shruti, glamorous. You played your character really, really well. I hope your dad would be proud of you. I'm sure he is. And Sathyaraj sir, you came, you saw, you conquered. I'm really glad that you shared the screen with Rajini sir. That scene, that was really cool. That was really nice. That was nice. I admire you. I think உங்களுக்கு அந்த கெத்து இருக்கு சத்யராஜ் சார், உங்களுக்கு அந்த கெத்து இருக்கு. And I've seen you in a lot of movies, and it's still, I think you're one of the really good actors out there. Your depth, your range. Again, I'm rambling. So thank you so much for listening to this idiotic rambling from a Rajini fan and also Mukhyamana, a good story movie fan. Take care, guys. Bye bye.